Welcome to my video, one of my videos this week. I know I was going to be at a different location, but that one fell through, so I'm back in my playroom and doing my video in my studio. This week and this video and the next video, in a little bit, is a look back to this one is look back to the 70s. And the next one's going to be look back to the 80s. But before I go on, I want to ask you to please subscribe, like my videos, and share my videos, and leave comments about the 70s and 80s. And also, starting this week, on Monday, I'm going to do a video every day of the verse of the day. It'll be a YouTube short, and a TikTok short, and an Instagram short. Okay, I use my family for an example about the 70s, what we used to do. I wrote it down. I have a page and a half of the 70s. For some reason, I remember more about the 70s than anything. And if you hear noise in the background, that's my air purifier, because I have my washroom closed and my playroom closed up. And that. So I need to air it out. I want to start in 72. The 72 flood. The St. Agnes flood. I was only 2 years old, so I don't remember it. I just don't remember what people said. I think it was Joe Long, the mayor of Lock Haven, sent me a picture of Lock Haven. I think, don't hold me to who sent it to me, but I know somebody sent me a picture. And the water was that high. Now, you know what St. Agnes Church is in Lock Haven? It, filled, it came right up to, all you could see was a steeple. And then near the shore, I'm not sure how deep it was in there, but Mom said, and Dad said that it come over Pine Creek Bridge. And that. And then, my cousin said in, Danville, he was there, and he said it covered almost covered, halfway up the school. And this is what we did before computers, before we had Facebook, YouTube, and everything. I remember a lot about before we had computers. We didn't have that much because Mom worked and Dad was retired. Back then, minimum wage was $1 an hour. Dad and Danny, my step-grandfather, told me when they first started the sawmill, They were getting 25 cents an hour. Can you imagine that? But the bread back then was a penny and everything. And Dad said that he could go to it was like the corner store, and he would be able to get a large ice cream, 3 scoops for a nickel. And not until 1979, then the minimum wage went up to $2.90. But it was life. We made the best of it. We were happy as long as we had a roof over our head, we had food in our stomach, food in the refrigerator, the bills were paid, we had clothes and everything. We were happy. Let's go back to the playtime. What we used to do before computers and that. And we didn't have, we had TV, but it was, we had the antenna. And I'll get to that in a little bit. Mike and I, that's my brother, we mostly played together because the rest of the people was down over the hill, because on top of the hill there was only me, our family, and my aunt and her family. We would play baseball or Mike and I would play tag, hide and go seek, and I didn't like hide and go seek because I never could find anybody. Made me mad too. Frisbee, and sometimes Mom and Dad was wait a minute, we'll come out and we would play yarn darts, horseshoes, and then Danny, my step-grandfather, did, it was lightweight, but it was called cleats. They're round, and you had to get them on pegs, just like you would horseshoes. They were hard, but he was good at it. Let's talk about family time. That's what, excuse me, I need a drink. I'm talking too long. Okay, let's talk about family time. We would play, Mike and I would play outside and that until supper time. And then Mom would say, come out and say, boys, supper, and we'd come in. We went, and Mom would set the table and put everything on the table. And we didn't have no TV on. We said the blessing. One of us said the blessing. Dad and Mom would choose who would say the blessing. And then we passed the food. As soon as everybody ate, got what they wanted, then we ate. And then we talked about the day. Mom and Dad would talk to us, find out how our school was, and then we'd talk to each other, because Mom worked, Dad was home, and doing things around the house, and Mom and Dad would talk about that. After dinner, Mom and Dad, or Mom, Mike, or I would do dishes, whoever turn it was. Then we'd watch TV or play board games. Let's talk about the board games. We play Monopoly, Pachisa, Checkers. They had, in the 80s, 70s, they brought out Dukes of Hazzard, card game, and Old Maid. And then our favorite game, a card game, was 500 Rummy. It usually was Mike and Dad against Mom and me. I didn't care. It still was fun. Let's talk about the telephone. You know how we have this kind of phone now, or the cordless phone. As long as I can remember, we didn't have a cordless phone until the 80s, until we come back from Arizona. And I'll mention that later. One of my friends that was, I worked with, and his Facebook, let me borrow her old phone. Oh, it's an old rotary phone. And let me tell you, it's heavy. And you know how now you push button? This one you didn't. You had, like if you wanted 3, turn around to 3. I'll do it like 17. 3, 9, 8, 1. See, and then you got a call. And I just remembered, this phone is an old one. Because remember how you had power, cord you can stick into the phone? This one was wired right into the phone. So to see if it worked, you had to take the whole phone apart. And then, this is after the scrap, but this is another thing. When we went to Graham's, she drank instant coffee. This is what she made it from. A lot of people might not know what this is, but it's a tea kettle. You would put it on the burner, turn it up on high, and when the water gets hot, there's a whistle starts blowing. And we came out of the oven. Long Okay, let's talk about TV. This is fun. TV, we didn't have any remote control TV. I was a remote, and Mike was a remote, mostly me. Because Dad's like, hey Alan, get up and turn the TV on. Alan, get up and turn the TV down. Alan, get up and change the channel. No, you're going too fast. And we had antenna. And see, I didn't have cable until I was in my 20s. Cable. Until I was in my 20s. I always had the antenna. This is the station we had. But before I do that, when Mom and Dad first moved up on the hill, they could use rabbit ears. And that would pull in another station. But then we had to get the antennas because it grew up. The trees got bigger and taller. We got 16, 22, 28, 38, 44, and 56. I kind of got ahead of myself. And I remember every, on Saturday, it was a good day because on Saturday, we, sat there in front of the TV and we could watch cartoons. Every channel had cartoons on. Like Scooby-Doo, the Flintstones, Fat Albert, hey, it's Fat Albert, Super Friends, and and then we watched, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and stuff like that. And then we watched some movies. Here as we go. Dagwood and Blondie. Bonnie and Dagwood, the Three Stooges, Star Trek, Dukes of Hazzard, the Waltons, but I didn't like that, Incredible Hulk. On Sunday morning, Mike, Mom, and I would go to church. in Avis. But I don't remember going to church in Avis. I only remember Christian Missionary, the Mount View Alliance Church. In 1979, we decided to move to Arizona. We went with a truck, with a camper that Dad made, a trailer, but it was too heavy for what we had. It seemed like we had blowout every state we went to. And then we traded that in, even up on a land. Yeah, I have right here, it says, and we went, it might have only been a couple of days going out, I'm not sure. And, but the 9-year-old, it felt like a year. I mean, not a year, but it felt like a week. And the one thing I always remember of Arizona, when we got there and we got the trailer and everything, when we made that trip park, it was pouring down rain. I always remember that. And then in Arizona, Mom, Mike and I started going to the Salvation Army. I'll never forget this. As long as I live, I was 9 years old. Wow, I went to the bathroom. And the door lock broke. I couldn't get it open. So I stayed in there until church was over. I heard Mom saying, my son went about me and came back yet. And the captain told me how to get out. But when I got out, the whole congregation was looking out there, staring at me, and I felt like going back in, locking the door. But you know that captain? He never forgot that, because I was a junior soldier. And, I went to, and when I went to, graduated from the junior soldiers, he said from the pulpit, he said, the first time I met Alan, he got himself locked in the bathroom. And that was so funny. That's all I'm going to mention about Arizona right now. And we came back. Oops. I kind of That's all for this video. I'll come back and click on the next video. Look back to the 80s. Talk to you later. Bye.